for investors with the right strategy to potentially discover 100x opportunities from today's prices. Now, I must warn, this event I'm about to describe, I'm going to explain in extreme detail why you may have a narrow window of time, a more narrow window than expected, if you want the potential for ground floor returns. You simply can't wait until the media has finally caught on or your friends are talking about this. I'll explain this urgency in more detail shortly because, Rex, we're going to detail some really shocking stuff at today's event, like how you can make the case that one of the fastest growing cryptos in the world, it recently grew at 200-fold pace. You could argue it's cheaper than a blue chip stock like Starbucks. And that's absolutely mind-blowing. And I'll explain why it's happening. If you find it compelling, I'll detail the specific cryptocurrency you can buy today to take advantage of this growth. Because, Rex, we are not holding anything back today.
And I do want to note, though, the last thing we want is for anyone to hear a single idea and run out and buy it. But let's address the elephant in the room. The crypto space is very volatile.
Yeah, that's right, Rex. Volatile might be an understatement, quite the understatement, which is why we'll discuss strategies around building a portfolio that invests in what we're confident are the biggest trends, and through diversification, aim to reduce risk. So I'll just say to everyone watching today, hey, it's your money, it's your life, and it's your risk. If you invest in a way that leaves you open to unnecessary risk. So please, the summit will take less than an hour. Please stick around to the end. Listen to our whole discussion. It's exciting, and frankly, it's not going to take very long. So let's just say, Rex, let's buckle up and let's get started.
All right. Now, I'd like to go back to where we started, that group of rabid fans beating down the doors for the hottest item of 2021. You noted that this wasn't something physical like a brand new Nintendo system or an iPhone. It was something entirely different. It was an NFT, which I'll have to say is with my kids, all I remember of Mania is like Beanie Babies or Tickle Me Elmo. But I think we're a long way from Beanie Babies here.
Yeah, Rex, all I have to say is we're not in Kansas anymore, right? It's the digital age. I have kids, I have nieces and nephews, and you just have to say this generation, it's different, right? The average kid who coughs up money for the popular video game Fortnite spends $84.67 on digital, keyword digital outfits. And it sounds crazy, right? I have a hard time spending $85 on a pair of jeans, but kids spend on digital outfits. And here's something that's even more crazy. A digital concert recently had 12 million people attend. 12 million. And, right after we finish filming today's event over in my kitchen, my wife, she's going to attend a digital cooking class from Sur La Table. It's the digital era. There's simply no other way around it. And while it can be hard to keep up with, the headlines are blaring about NFTs, which I imagine you've heard of, but if not, they're rapidly becoming the trend of 2021. And they're essentially a way to buy digital goods that's one of a kind and can be resold thanks to crypto technology. So what was I watching on that date? Well, it was one of the hottest NFT launches of the year. And while everyone else wanted the NFT itself, I was there because this NFT launch that was driving people into a frenzy was happening on a breakthrough cryptocurrency. Now, I was paying attention because I wanted to make money, because I suspected if this NFT launch went smoothly, the value of the cryptocurrency it was launching on could skyrocket. Now you might ask, what's so interesting about this cryptocurrency I was so closely watching? Well, for one, it was dreamed up by an engineer from Qualcomm, the same company that's a leader in technologies like 5G. And it takes a critical technology that, I know this sounds crazy, but it kind of manipulates time to redefine crypto technology much the same way that a game-changing technology like 5G itself works. And it's mind-blowing, but here's the end result. This crypto can process 10,000-fold more transactions than Bitcoin per second. So, the whole premise of this presentation is the next Bitcoin. Technologies that extend far beyond what Bitcoin is capable of and can redefine the next decade of the crypto space. And let me pull up what happened in the weeks following that launch I was tracking. In little more than 2 months after that event, I was so intently watching, this cryptocurrency jumped from $44.11 to $200. That's 4.5x growth in a couple months, which I'm here to tell you, if you understand this market and the technology behind it and where it's moving, well, I'm here to show you today why successes like I showed above, I believe will happen again and again, because there's simply too much innovation happening in this market. And today, I'm going to reveal my complete understanding of this market so everyone watching today can understand why certain cryptos have had enormous gains while others just never seem to amount to anything.
And that's the thing I think many people watching today find frustrating. With companies, we have events that we understand. They release earnings, and it's easy to understand a product launch. Hey, Apple released a new phone. It sold a lot, so their stock price goes up. That's pretty simple, right? A company makes more profits, and over time, their share price goes up. Simple. But in crypto, we see prices moving like crazy, and it just feels like rampant speculation that's really hard to predict.
Yeah, that's right, Rex. And the media loves it when a Twitter mob bids up a cryptocurrency with a dog on it, or someone makes a joke cryptocurrency about Elon Musk and suddenly it's worth 600 million. And that is unbelievably not something I just made up. That is real. And those excesses are real. But I want to make something extremely clear. The cryptos we'll discuss that are up 117-fold to 245-fold across just the past year, they all have breakthroughs in users. They're pulling in real revenue. They have breakthrough technology. A lot of people think investing in crypto is about getting lucky and investing in the next joke. That is not what we'll be discussing today. We'll show you exactly why these cryptocurrencies have skyrocketed so you're ready to invest in the next potential ground floor opportunity that we'll reveal today.
And one thing you said to me is the biggest misunderstanding investors make in the crypto space is they don't understand what cryptos are. They think they're all very similar, but I've talked with you plenty about this topic, and that couldn't be any further from the truth.
Yeah, correct, Rex. And this is really important. If investors want to put themselves in position to invest in the next Bitcoin, well, they have to understand why we think the cryptocurrency space is poised to enter a new phase in the first place, because Bitcoin was the first phase of cryptocurrencies. It began making waves in a really meaningful way in 2011. That's when the price jumped above $1. You had conferences and people really began getting excited about its potential. Now, it's important to understand Bitcoin truly serves a relatively simple purpose. It's internet money. Its breakthrough innovation was that it's completely decentralized. There's no central bank. Bitcoin is entirely controlled by rules with a set amount of supply. And it created an incentive system via mining that effectively lets people lend their computing resources to verify all transactions. Now, the second phase of crypto, that really took off in 2016. And that was the legitimacy of cryptocurrencies as platforms. There's an entrepreneur named Vitalik Buterin who may go down as one of the greatest minds in technology history, with impacts equaling a Jobs or a Musk. And he essentially saw the limitations of Bitcoin. That was just internet money. And he created Ethereum, which took the cryptocurrency space in a completely radical direction. And he created a platform that used the central Bitcoin technology, a blockchain, to allow millions of programmers across the world to begin building apps on top of Ethereum that could issue their own cryptocurrency assets. The second phase in 2016 allowed cryptocurrencies to become more than what even the greatest visionaries in the world could have imagined mere years before. And now, well, you can see it clearly on the screen. 2011, we had phase one. 5 years later, in 2016, phase two. Now, 5 years later, are we looking at a phase three? Because if history repeats itself right now, is the beginning of a third phase that I'm confident could once again 10x the capabilities and potential of the crypto space.
Yeah, and I'd like to make it clear that Bitcoin is a big deal. We don't bring up this chart to say Bitcoin's time is past. In fact, the Motley Fool invested $5 million into Bitcoin in February of this year, a buy which made waves across the internet. While Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, newer technologies are moving away from its energy intensity. It's still, well, the gold standard for cryptocurrencies that are a store of value.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Rex. Here's the thing about technology. It has a business dynamic called network effects that we'll discuss more. But in short, the world is still grappling with how powerful they are. And Facebook is valuable as a social media platform because everyone is on it. The iPhone is better because of its user base. Everyone loves those blue message bubbles. And Visa is worth so much because every merchant accepts it. And here's what's important. I believe the network effects in cryptocurrencies are even more powerful than the technology companies I just described, which is a reason getting on the ground floor of winners can provide such astonishing returns that we're detailing today, which is to say, Bitcoin is valuable because it was first. It was the first digital money. Institutional support is skyrocketing. You know, the first Bitcoin ETF, it just had a record-breaking launch, and it has a fixed supply. Look, I know there's a lot of talk out there about inflation being transitory, but gasoline prices jumped 50% in 2021. Real estate prices are still rising at 20% nationally, with markets like Austin, Boise, and Boulder at more than 35% growth. And I'll just put a picture of used car prices on the screen because sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely, Rex. And the point is, if you feel like your money is burning singing cash, well, if housing is skyrocketing, gas is, cars are, well, that's pretty much the economy. But yes, Bitcoin was the first phase and it still matters. And today it's seen as a hedge and a store of value. But the story surrounding cryptocurrencies is so much bigger than Bitcoin today.
Right. So Bitcoin was the beginning of the story. And then we have the second phase, which began in 2016, which we played that clip earlier of you, and that's what you were predicting. The birth of a next phase that would allow blockchain technology to create powerful platforms that most investors simply hadn't imagined yet.
Yeah, well, you're right, Rex. You're correct. But here's where I need to be honest. We were wrong. Simply put, we were too late because that clip earlier, it was from October 2017.
Well, wait a minute. I think that was a heck of a prediction. The crypto space was worth $175 billion in that video and recently passed $2.5 trillion. That's a lot of growth, significantly more than tenfold in just years of time.
Well, thank you, Rex. But here's a really important point I want to make today. Being early really impacts your return. So let me just show you what happened if we hosted our last event a year earlier in 2016 when phase 2 was really a ground floor opportunity. You know how we mentioned a $10,000 in both Ethereum and Bitcoin will have turned into more than $270,000? Well, if we had hosted our event a year earlier, 10,000 in both those cryptos will have turned into more than $4.6 million, which is to say the most significant gains were made in late 2016 and early 2017 as it became clear to the early adopters that phase 2 would allow crypto to become something 10x more disruptive than it had previously been, which again is why we're not waiting to release this information to Motley Fool members, because simply if history repeats itself and the world awakens to the next Bitcoin opportunity in 2022, I should say, the time to hear about it is today.
And now, before we get to that next Bitcoin opportunity, I want to talk about what's been happening with phase two, because we talk cryptocurrencies and other digital assets with each other, and what's happening is truly eye-opening. When I talk with you, you clearly lay out the numbers behind what's happening. The picture is so much different than what you read about in the media.
Yeah, and I think the easiest way to illustrate what's happening is with an example. So I want everyone out there to imagine a company with these results. Revenue growth of 200-fold. To put that in perspective, in its first year after going public, Amazon had unheard of 839% growth, which is still, that is just a mere fraction of 200-fold growth. Transaction growth of 20-fold or 2,000%. Let's compare that to Visa, which has grown transactions at just 4%, and user growth of 71%, which makes it one of the fastest growing platforms in the world. Best of all, this company is a platform with dominant network effects that rival Amazon, Facebook, or Google. So, Rex, the simple question would be, what would you pay for this company?
Well, many companies, top companies with a fraction of that growth that you described, trade for 50 times sales or more. So I can't imagine what this would be worth. I mean, it could be the most valuable company in the world.
You know, I agree with you. So let me reveal something that could be shocking to our viewers out there. Everything I described is not some hot IPO. You can't even buy it on the stock market. Don't call up your broker and ask to add this to your next batch of stocks. Odds are, even with these incredible growth rates, you probably don't own it. That's because if you want to own this asset, you need to be invested in crypto because it's Ethereum.
Oh, those numbers are incredible. I do own Ethereum. I still had no idea it had that much real world use. And I'm probably in the position a lot of investors watching today that I'm really just trying to wrap my head around all of this. You know, so many of these advanced tech companies, they're hard enough to understand. And then crypto is just another layer of complexity. So it's hard to know just exactly what all these cryptos do.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, Rex. So Ethereum, it collects revenue the more people use it. And right now it's trading for a PE of about 42. Now, for comparison, Starbucks, a blue chip company growing at a fraction its rate, trades for 48 times earnings. Now, this isn't exactly a one-to-one comparison since crypto economics are different, as you mentioned above, but I'm sure more than a few people watching today are pretty shocked by the numbers I just showed. So you are right. I think a lot of investors are having a hard time wrapping their heads around what's happening in the space. So let's keep on examining what's going on with Ethereum. Those numbers I just quoted, they're from the first quarter of 2021. And the story, it keeps getting better. In fact, in the second quarter, Ethereum processed 2.5 trillion in transactions, which this is kind of wild, but this is the same size as Visa. So when the media frames cryptocurrencies as rampant speculation, well, as we know, there is speculation in the crypto market, no question about that. But if Ethereum grew its revenues 200-fold year over year, was its price jump speculation, or are investors simply racing to buy a platform that's growing like wildfire? Is a PE that's lower than Starbucks rampant speculation, or does it sound very reasonable? And this is what we're focusing on. We're not trying to pinpoint the next mania. We're trying to pinpoint the crypto assets whose use is about to explode, because more often than not, the cryptocurrencies whose prices explode, I should say, are the ones with massive user growth that are having real world impacts.
The growth you just showed, it's hard to argue with, but I'm still left to wonder how all this growth is happening, let alone why. Ethereum is now the size of Visa. Well, I use my Visa card every day, and I've still never used Ethereum. So where is all this growth happening? What are the concrete examples that everyone watching today can wrap their heads around?
It's a good question, and let's just start with banking. Right now, the average savings rate is 0.06%. And That's horrible. Meanwhile, while these savings payouts hover at 0.06%, housing prices rise at record rates, used car prices are skyrocketing, people are hoarding supplies, and gas prices have soared more than 50%. We detailed this all earlier. So 0.06% returns versus the cost of goods. You spend the most money rising up to 50%. That is not a sustainable situation. The question is, what's going on? Well, somewhere between those two numbers, 0.06 and 50%, is the middleman. Banks, Wall Street, you name it. Their profit margin is the gap between how much they pay you and what they lend money out at. But what can be done about the banking system, right? I mean, if 2008 just made it stronger, there's really no stopping Wall Street. Well, maybe, because there's a huge new industry emerging known as decentralized finance, or DeFi. It's grown by 100-fold in a bit more than 3 years, which might make it the fastest growing industry in the world. And there's now more than $100 billion worth of assets collateralized in DeFi for lending, borrowing, exchanges, even things like derivatives, all without Wall Street. And people are flocking to DeFi because there is no middleman to take those profits, so yields are often 50-fold or more what Wall Street pays. And how does it work? Well, DeFi is almost entirely built on Ethereum. It's peer-to-peer and utilizes smart contracts to provide lending without the need for a centralized party like your bank. Now, Rex, it's not perfect, and there will be growing pains, but the growth trajectory, the users, the developers, they are all building critical mass in this space. And that's a huge part of why cryptocurrencies are such a revolutionary technology. They create markets we never even dreamed of years or sometimes even months ago.
Wow. And I've heard, here and there of DeFi, but I guess I never understood those growth rates, and scaling a brand new financial system by 100-fold in a few years is just incredible. So is this what I should be focusing on when I'm looking at Ethereum? Is it mostly a financial platform?
Well, I think that last word you used sums up Ethereum. It's a platform. And I'll just use a few examples. Did you know that the fastest growing video game on the planet is built on Ethereum? Its users have jumped 4,900% this year. And the cryptocurrency you can buy that supports this game is up more than 200-fold across 2021 alone. And perhaps you've heard of NFTs. They're an incredible buzzword right now. We talked about them earlier. The industry has gone from a niche to being valued at more than $20 billion in a few short months. Well, just about every NFT trades on Ethereum. And here's something out of left field. Ethereum is even revolutionizing sports. Would you believe that? There's a cryptocurrency built on Ethereum that gives sports fans the ability to make decisions in their favorite franchises. The biggest soccer clubs in Europe are all adopting it. If I had to guess, it won't be long before you see it utilized by clubs like the New York Yankees stateside. So what's going on in the cryptocurrency space is truly mind-bending stuff, Rex.
Okay, so let me summarize. You're telling me cryptocurrencies are already creating an alternate financial system that has grown at 100-fold in little more than 3 years, that continues expanding rapidly. They're already creating the fastest growing video game in the world. They're already fundamentally reshaping sports fandom. Eric, those are 3 100 billion plus industries, and it's happening today.
Yeah, that's right, Rex. It's wild to even hear you repeat it. And here's the thing I need to highlight. The rewards for being a leader in these markets have piled up at truly astounding rates. Take Terra. It has a cryptocurrency that trades under LUNA and is one of the most exciting financial projects in the crypto space and has picked up incredible momentum in the past year. The growth of Luna is up 139x in the past year if you just purchased it then. Or remember how I was watching the NFT launch on that potentially revolutionary blockchain technology? Well, that was Solana. And it has a cryptocurrency that trades under SOL. And As I noted earlier, its value skyrocketed after that launch. But when you take an even further back look, well, the picture gets pretty incredible. Solana is up 117-fold in the past year. Or how about that crypto video game that's become the fastest growing video game on Earth? Well, it's named Axie Infinity, and it has a cryptocurrency that trades under AXS. Its returns are even more impressive. AXS is up 245-fold in just 2021 alone. Now, Rex, I know what you're thinking.
That I can't even comprehend 245x returns in a single year.
Yes, it is. It is truly hard to wrap your head around. Honestly, it sounds, well, ludicrous. Like part of some mania that has no basis in reality. Well, here's what's surprising. I need to get technical for just one moment. The key way to value cryptocurrencies is to divide their fully diluted market cap by revenue flown back to the protocol, which I promise I've tried to keep this presentation as jargon-free as possible, and that's the most jargon I'll use right there. But the bottom line is this creates a version of the PE ratio for the crypto world. And Axie Infinity's is at 16x right now. Sounds pretty reasonable. And simply put, these gains aren't because a bunch of traders are shifting into this as some new meme. They're happening because of fundamental and frankly explosive growth in the video game itself. And Rex, this is why it is so important to cover this third phase of the cryptocurrency space we believe is set to take off across 2022. It's really happening today because too many investors feel like they've missed the best returns of the first and second phase of the crypto market that we just described. And I've detailed the numbers. DeFi as a market grew by 100-fold in little more than 3 years. Axie Infinity has jumped 245-fold this year on the back of surging revenue figures. NFTs went from nearly non-existent at the start of the year to being a $20+ billion market. Historically, momentum just builds at incredible rates in the crypto space. So if I'm right that phase 3 of the crypto market takes the opportunity from trillions to tens of trillions, well, I trust from the examples I've just shown today, you can understand why I'm predicting this has the potential to create some 100x or more opportunities for investors who get in on the ground floor of the cryptocurrencies that will lead phase 3.
Well, we showed the chart earlier, which we can pull up again. Investing a year later after the start of crypto's phase 2 was the difference between your $10,000 investments in Bitcoin and Ethereum by either $270,000 or to nearly $5 million. So if history does repeat itself, I think we've made the stakes pretty clear today. Now, I believe there are still gains to be had from this second phase of crypto and what's happening with Ethereum. So what exactly is this third phase you believe can take cryptocurrencies to an entirely new era?
Well, we named today's event the Next Bitcoin Summit for a reason. As I trust everyone understands now, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but it was also the first phase that formed the foundation of the entire cryptocurrency universe. It established the technology all breakthroughs continue to improve upon and created the concept of internet money. As such, the next Bitcoin, it isn't a single coin, it's the next phase that's as technologically radical as the invention of Bitcoin itself. Now, I don't take the idea of this being worth tens of trillions of dollars lightly. Frankly, there's only a single equity industry on Earth that can claim that level of value, and that's big technology companies. Today you have Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, NVIDIA. Those 6 companies combined are worth about 10 trillion. And they sure seem borderline unbeatable. Apple has rolled up all the profits in the smartphone space, nearly all of them. Amazon captures a huge percentage of e-commerce growth, and Facebook dominates most social media revenue. I mean, sounds just unstoppable, right? Well, crypto's next phase is all about challenging the dominant tech titans. That's why it's potentially worth tens of trillions. Because crypto is about to become a major threat to the dominance of gigantic technology companies. And If that sounds impossible, just look at how cryptos have risen to challenge traditional finance so quickly and the kinds of returns you could have achieved if you bought the leaders of DeFi early. But one huge note, with this next phase being worth potentially tens of trillions, I have some pretty sobering news. If you missed Bitcoin in phase one, if you missed Ethereum in phase two, I believe investors have an opportunity today to be on the ground floor of phase three of cryptos. But here's what's sobering. I don't believe there's going to be a phase four. This is, in my opinion, likely the last major shift of this magnitude. And the reason it's simple. There's only so much money in this world. And if an industry makes a 10x shift to go from being worth trillions to tens of trillions, the world economy, it just simply isn't big enough for a fourth shift of that magnitude. It's once again, just really simple math as I see it. So if any investor wants to be on the ground floor of a massive shift in the space that I believe is the next Bitcoin level event, I should say, well, Rex, this could be it.
All right. Well, the time has come. The reason you convened this next Bitcoin event. What is this third phase that could take the crypto market beyond trillions and into the tens of trillions and make it potentially the biggest technology shift, well, ever?
Yeah. Well, Rex, it's called Web3. And I want to be clear as possible. Here's my prediction. I believe that the Web3 era is the third phase of the crypto market. It will make cryptocurrencies more mainstream than ever. And I believe it has the potential to be an event that grows the value of cryptocurrencies by tenfold. And it won't happen overnight, mind you, but the ramifications are just massive. So let's dive in. The first thing you need to know about Web3 is the right voices are behind it. Chris Dixon, who I consider to likely be the smartest venture capitalist alive, says, we are now at the beginning of the Web3 era. More specifically, Dixon predicts 2021 is the beginning of the Web3 era. Now, what is Web3? It's an era when cryptocurrency services can compete with and can replace the largest technology companies in the world. And I know that's a lot to digest, so let's dive into some examples of what Web3 looks like in practice. Let's start with Internet Computer, which trades under ICP. It copies many of the most advanced features of major cloud services like Amazon's AWS and Microsoft's Azure. So you can deploy websites, enterprise IT systems, and internet services, much like you would to Amazon or Microsoft's cloud hosting. Now, Rex, here's it's going to bend your mind a little bit. With Internet Computer, you deploy your code directly to the internet itself. So there's no hosting on Amazon servers or no hosting on Microsoft. You just put it directly on the internet, which is mind-bending, right? And I know this might sound almost incomprehensible. This is what Web3 is all about. If Amazon or Microsoft isn't hosting your website, you might ask, who is? Well, that's where the technology pioneered by Bitcoin, the blockchain, that allows people to lend their computing resources is hitting a new inflection point in its capabilities. Internet Computer is a blockchain that's being developed with all these capabilities built in. And it's early. This was just launched months ago, but there's already some really fascinating services being built on top. Okay, let's do one more example. It's Theta, which trades under THETA. Now, the internet is full of video. You are contributing to that today. Thank you very much for watching this presentation. But video usage is now 75% of internet traffic.
Thanks a lot, Netflix.
Right, which, that's a good point because, it's not like Netflix is going away. This number is going to keep on growing for years to come. And the problem is that delivering high-quality video often relies on having data centers located close to the user, which isn't always the case across the world. And Theta is building a cryptocurrency solution to this problem. Essentially, you can provide your unused computing power to Theta, which has built a content delivery network on the blockchain. And this isn't some pie-in-the-sky dream either. The co-founder of YouTube and Twitch TV are on the Theta team. Also, Google, Sony, and Samsung are all backing the project. And the bottom line is this. This is an absolutely massive market opportunity, and it could be that the number way to profit from it isn't a company in the space like Fastly, but instead a cryptocurrency. And Rex, this is the future that Web3 has the potential to create. I believe it's simply a level up, a next phase in what cryptocurrencies are capable of. And the bottom line, as I see it, we're starting to see Web3 projects that are really beginning to push the limits. So, hey, we could wait. We could wait until this market matures. We could bring it to our members when we think there's potentially less risk, but potentially a lot less upside. Or we could alert our members about these developments when they're in what we believe is truly the ground floor stage. And I hope all our members out there appreciate us doing so because, you know, Rex, this could be really transformative stuff.
Yeah, and I have to admit my head is spinning a bit, but to be fair, my head was also spinning when I first heard of Bitcoin and when I first heard of Ethereum. And, well, we've already shown the kinds of wealth that they've created. But I have to ask, Eric, the idea of blockchains and cryptocurrencies taking on Amazon and the largest technology companies in the world, how quickly is this happening?
I mean, Rex, you know, this is why getting out this information today is so critical. It wasn't that long ago that the thought of DeFi growing to the levels it has today was simply unthinkable. And as I noted, an innovative cryptocurrency challenging the status quo in the financial space is up 139-fold in the past year. And a year ago, the fastest growing video game in the world being built on crypto was barely a concept even the most forward-thinking crypto fans could imagine. And as I've shown, the leading cryptocurrency video game is up 245x since the start of 2021. So Rex, Ethereum revenue grew 200-fold between the beginning of 2020 and 2021. Perhaps you've marveled at how quickly technology companies can grow, and they grow fast. The dynamics in crypto, there's no other way for me to put it. Just look at the evidence. I believe they grow faster, and network effects are hugely important to which cryptos can dominate the most massive opportunities. And investors will rush in very quickly if they think one crypto has an edge. So will Amazon be disrupted within a year, 2 years, 3 years? Almost certainly not. But that hardly needs to happen for investors to miss out on ground floor Web3 opportunities in the space.
Yeah, you know, it might sound fantastic, but I did start at the Motley Fool in 2000. And a lot of our predictions about the internet back then seemed so out there that we were laughed at.
Yeah, that's right. It was Motley Fool co-founder David Gardner who went on a TV show and they introduced him as, and meet the man who believes that soon you'll use your credit card over the internet.
Yeah, can you imagine thinking back, your credit card over the internet?
And we laugh now, but in the mid-1990s, that truly was an out there. It was a bizarre claim. And look, Rex, the Motley Fool, it started to help the world invest better. We focus on stocks for a very simple reason. Historically, they've been the best way to build wealth. So you can see why crypto, it would be controversial inside the company. I remember showing my dad the video we led with today, predicting cryptocurrencies would soon be worth trillions. And he said to me, oh, it's just the Dutch tulip craze over again. And people in the Motley Fool itself have asked whether we should be involved in something where people are bidding up a coin with a dog on it over 30 billion. So yes, there's a lot of speculation in parts of the crypto market. There's a lot of money chasing returns. So I want to be unequivocal today. That is not what we're after. We have a very specific outlook toward investing in cryptocurrencies that have real use cases, that utilize breakthrough technologies and can improve the world. And yes, have the potential for outstanding returns. So if your idea of cryptocurrencies is trying to be in on the next coin about Elon Musk before an army of teenagers buys it up, well, I'll say that's never what the Motley Fool is going to be about. Our goal in cryptos is exactly the same as stocks. find the most innovative trends, alert our members to them, all with the goal of putting them in a position to succeed for years to come.
All right, I understand the promise of all this, and it's truly exciting. It does feel a bit like investing in the internet in the 1990s. But let's face it, it sounds hard. I checked before we filmed today. There's more than 13,000 cryptocurrencies out there right now. Finding the best ones before they're the size of Ethereum sounds like finding a needle in a haystack. And not to mention, someone can be a great stock investor, and there's just so much to learn. Blockchains, consensus, proof of stake versus proof of work, it's a lot to take in, let alone finding a way to value these cryptocurrencies or assess their technology in these early stages.
Yeah, well, you're right about that, Rex. And now I should note, you referenced earlier the Motley Fool's $5 million investment into Bitcoin earlier this year. That investment was more than anything a statement that we're watching the crypto space, building up our capabilities, and that we're going to give all our members the same quality of research as we've built in stocks. Now, behind the scenes, we've been working with outside experts, we've been building a team of internal analysts and advisors, and most importantly of all, tracking developments in the space. And as I've noted, it's a truly exciting time, especially for investors who are excited about the potential ground floor opportunity I've discussed at length today. So I'm pleased to announce that for the first time ever, the Motley Fool is launching a service exclusively dedicated to recommendations in digital assets like cryptocurrencies. It's named Digital Explorers, and I couldn't be more excited about what we have prepared for anyone who wants to, boldly become a member today.
All right, so how is Digital Explorers different than other Motley Fool services?
Well, right off the bat, Digital Explorers is a product entirely focused on the crypto space. The Motley Fool is not abandoning stocks, far from it. But the service is exclusively dedicated to digital assets like cryptocurrencies and won't feature stock recommendations. So what's the first thing you'll see when you join? You might want to get out a pen and paper to take down some notes for everything that comes with Digital Explorers, because it's a lot. First, we're going to invest $1 million of the Motley Fool's own money into a real money portfolio across the next year. Now, the crypto space is incredibly fast moving, so I'm confident this is going to be the most dynamic portfolio in Motley Fool history. We plan to make multiple allocation decisions and investments every single month. We'll invest in cryptocurrencies. We could invest in assets that provide yield. We could even invest in NFTs. But here's what's important. Investors who join us will have a trusted source, like the Motley Fool, to give them guidance and instruction throughout their entire membership. We'll invest only in what we believe are the highest quality assets. After all, in the past 5 years, any investor could have traded a ton chasing returns, but as we've seen, simply holding game changers like Bitcoin and Ethereum was enough to turn investments of $10,000 into nearly $5 million. And the point from that being, if an investor can invest in the most high quality projects, it's our belief they'll be in a great position to potentially grow their wealth for the long run. In total, we expect to invest in more than 15 holdings. With something like crypto, the upside has historically been incredible. But make no mistake, it's a risky space. So we'll show members who join how to diversify and not make a single bet, but build a diversified portfolio, one that's allocated across foundational cryptos, growth markets like DeFi, and yes, we'll be on the hunt for Web3 cryptos that could lead the next phase of this market. And of course, we have an expert advisor, we have outside experts, we have a growing team of vetted Motley Fool analysts. So investors can be assured that we'll provide continued rankings, and they'll understand any given moment what our best ideas are in the crypto space.
And with crypto, it can be a space that's intimidating. And frankly, it's hard to know where to get started. So I know you and the team that we've built for Digital Explorers have put a lot of effort into how-to guides and research that's simply hard to find in this market.
Yeah, that's entirely correct, Rex. I host a weekly crypto show at the Motley Fool, which I might note that buyers of Digital Explorers will have access to. And a question we often hear from our members is simply, help me get started. So we've put an incredible amount of effort creating exclusive reports to get anyone interested in the crypto space started. These include how to set up a digital wallet, cryptocurrency 101, a beginner's guide, 7 things to consider when adding digital assets to your portfolio, how and where to buy cryptos, and an introduction to DeFi, what to know about this booming market. Now, okay, that's just the beginning, because on day one, members will see 7 formal recommendations that we'll be investing Motley Fool capital into. Simply put, they'll know our interests are aligned and will always invest only after we've given members a chance to first. Now, we'll often launch new portfolios spanning 10 to 30 recommendations at the Motley Fool. So I want to explain why Digital Explorers is different. First, as I've taken pains to explain earlier, the crypto market is rapidly evolving. So we want to first set investors up with the cornerstones of a portfolio. All of these original recommendations will come with research reports written by our team, as well as an exclusive video presentation that lays out exactly what excites us about the asset. Now, as I noted earlier, we plan to expand the portfolio rapidly, issuing multiple allocation decisions every month. This is going to be exciting. Members are going to get a ton of new crypto recommendations and research, and I think this is going to feel like the closest thing to what it felt like investing at the birth of the internet. It's frankly, it's new and exciting, and we think the profit opportunities are just different than other markets we've seen. So from day one, we're including a research center with our watch list of crypto ideas. Just think about how much time it takes to hear about new crypto ideas, figure out what they do, research them, figure out whether it's worth an investment consideration, and members will find an ever-increasing library of our research that cuts through a lot of this work. We're launching on day one with at least 11 crypto research reports, and we intend to grow this number to dozens in the weeks and months ahead. And Rex, in a space like crypto, where it's simply hard to find trusted sources, hard to find research, hard to find a strategic way to build a diversified portfolio, well, our goal is nothing short of making Digital Explorers the most comprehensive one-stop shop for investors who are serious about making the most of this space in the coming years that, we believe are absolutely pivotal.
Great. Can you maybe give everyone out there a little sample of the assets they'll be able to discover when they join Digital Explorers?
Yeah, certainly. So I'll just announce something extremely exciting right now. When you join Digital Explorers today, you'll receive an automatic upgrade to VIP status. And here's what makes VIP status such a compelling opportunity. Our VIPs are going to get access to Crypto Moonshot Masterclass in the weeks ahead. Now, we're making this available to a limited audience of VIPs for a very simple reason. The Moonshot Masterclass is going to discuss very small cryptocurrencies. So here's a little preview. One trades for about 55 cents. What's the upside? Well, it allows creators, think about the Kim Kardashians of the world, the pro athletes, to issue their own cryptocurrencies and NFTs. This cryptocurrency was recently listed by Coinbase, which provides a powerful catalyst. And we'll also dive in depth into an NFT marketplace that's become one of the most important peer plays into this booming market. Now, as I noted, the cryptocurrencies we'll discuss in Crypto Moonshot Masterclass are tiny. In fact, the one I just described is smaller than any single stock recommended in Stock Advisor. And once again, this is why Crypto Moonshot Masterclass is only available to VIPs. We want to make this available to a small audience. The bottom line is we want this to be exclusive. None of these cryptos, now, none of them are part of the official recommendations members will discover on day one, but they're meant to teach investors how to identify the most promising crypto ideas at their earliest stages. And again, they're only available to a small audience, those who join Digital Explorers as a VIP. And as I know today, we want Digital Explorers to be the best one-stop shop for crypto research on the internet. We're just deeply serious about that. We're committed to this market. Rex and I hope this gives a little preview of what we have inside. It's important for us to provide so much research, reports, and extras because the crypto space, well, as I noted earlier, well, it's already big, worth trillions. It does feel a little bit like the wild, wild west. It's hard to find trusted sources that investors can be confident have their best interests at heart. That's why we're investing so much into our content, research, and making sure from day one, every member of Digital Explorers feels like this is the ultimate source for attacking the biggest opportunities across the crypto space.
And as I understand it, the return goals of this service are different than what we've targeted in the past.
Yeah, so the goal is 10x returns in 6 years, which is higher than we've set for most of our stock services. Now, I need to note, we set this higher return goal because we expect more volatility. I need to be very direct. If any member thinking of joining Digital Explorers and expects returns that are consistently up and to the right, well, the service may not be quite right for them because there's historically been swings to the crypto market, both in the positive and negative directions. Our goal is that by helping investors build a diversified portfolio, they're going to be better equipped to handle these ups and downs. And it's our belief that guidance in volatile markets with outstanding long-term potentials are where we best serve our members. And we're prepared to be opportunistic should the market hand us any opportunities.
And as I understand it, that incredible VIP exclusive earlier in the Crypto Moonshot Masterclass, that's just the beginning of the extras that investors can discover today.
Yeah, well, first off, I think this goes without saying, but Digital Explorers isn't meant to replace stock research. It's meant to complement it. So everyone watching today can add on one of our most exciting stock services, Rule Breakers, Augmented Reality, and beyond, at a heavily discounted price when they join today. You'll be able to find more details on that in the invitation you'll find below this video. Now, in addition to Crypto Moonshot Masterclass, we have some incredible VIP extras today, like the executive list. Now, this report, which is valued at $500, it details 5 of the top stocks across the entire Motley Fool universe. And in addition, VIPs will also receive another report, which is 5 top small cap stocks, which dives deep into 5 of our favorite small cap stocks. And this is valued at $400. Now, both of these reports, Rex, are included absolutely gratis, free, when you join before midnight tonight.
And these VIP reports are absolutely free because everyone joining Digital Explorers before midnight tonight will receive a complimentary upgrade to VIP status. So, Eric, I'm sure everyone watching today is probably asking, how much does all this cost?
Yeah, so let me do a quick rundown of everything available in today's offer. You'll see it on the screen. For the first time ever, we're accepting memberships into Digital Explorers. This is the Motley Fool's first ever portfolio purely dedicated to digital assets like cryptocurrencies. Across the first year, we intend to allocate $1 million of the Motley Fool's own capital into Digital Explorers. Every recommendation will include customized research reports, and you will have access to the comprehensive library we're building of watch list stock reports, valuable how-to guides, and much more. You will also receive an automatic upgrade to VIP status, which again will give you access to something we believe is incredibly valuable. That is Crypto Moonshot Masterclass, our multi-part series on smaller cryptocurrencies that are simply under the radar for most investors. Each masterclass will help you learn how to analyze emerging crypto opportunities. You'll also receive VIP reports like the executive list, which is valued at $500, and 5 top small cap stocks at $400 value. And again, that is absolutely free. And if this all wasn't enough, every member of Digital Explorers will have access to Backstage, which includes stock rankings and exclusive live streams from our analysts. As I noted earlier, I host a weekly crypto show on Backstage. So if you join today, you can get updates on the crypto market, send in questions, and discover new ideas each and every week. And finally, you will also receive the Motley Fool's exclusive satisfaction guarantee. You can join Digital Explorers, test drive the full portfolio, receives our team's continuing guidance and future recommendations. And here's the deal. We normally make this available the first 30 days. With Digital Explorers, we're doing something special. We're going to make our satisfaction guarantee available for 90 days because we want you to be completely confident that Digital Explorers is the right solution for you to identify the most compelling opportunities in the crypto space. So if at any time in the first 90 days, you're not completely satisfied, well, simply call our helpful member services team, and they'll be happy to transfer your credit to another one of our portfolio products. It's as simple as that, and we do it to help members have confidence, to try this out and get started because we know the space, it can be intimidating, but we built a lot of solutions that we think make Digital Explorers, like I said, the best crypto research on the internet. And when you act before midnight tonight, as a thank you for joining us today, you will receive an automatic upgrade to our VIP package and a $500 discount from its list price. So you can join Digital Explorers as a VIP for just $14.99 today. Now, if you choose to add on augmented reality and beyond, you can join 2 separate premium services today for just $19.99.
Well, that's a lot of stuff. And in the spirit of Steve Jobs, always holding back one more thing, you have one last thing to add that no one watching will want to miss.
Well, Rex, everyone loves free money. I was walking down the street the other day and I found $20, and you better believe just about everyone I talked to that day heard about it. So I think this is going to be something very exciting for everyone watching today. Now, I should note, it does add some potential urgency to make a decision. So, we want you to read the invitation below. Make sure Digital Explorers is right for you. There is something special if you join today, because for everyone who joins Digital Explorers today, we're going to send a special promo code. Now, this promo code entitles you that if you sign up for Gemini, which is a crypto brokerage, and fund your account with $3,000 and make $3,000 worth of purchases, they will deposit $300 worth of Bitcoin into your account. Now, this is a really compelling idea, but again, this promo code will only be sent to members who join Digital Explorers today. So just be aware, this limited time opportunity will expire when making your decision.
Well, Eric, this has all been really fascinating to me. I'm sure a lot of members today want to get the full details on Digital Explorers, which you can find below. Simply click the button below this video to access your full invitation to Digital Explorers. But please bear in mind, to receive that automatic upgrade to VIP, you must act before midnight tonight, because once the clock strikes midnight, that $500 launch day discount will expire, and the price to join Digital Explorers will rise tomorrow. And with that, I think we've covered it all. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us at today's Next Bitcoin Summit, and I hope we'll see you on the inside of Digital Explorers.